Imagine a conflict that doesn't just affect two nations, but ripples across the globe, shaking the foundations of international politics, economics, and humanitarian norms. What could be the global impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict? It's a question that isn't just of interest to the involved parties, but to the world as a whole. It's a conflict that has proven, time and again, that no issue is solely local in our interconnected age. From the corridors of power to the most remote corners of the planet, the reverberations of this clash are felt. To comprehend this, we first need to understand the progression of the conflict. The Russia-Ukraine conflict didn't erupt overnight. It built up over years, intensifying over time. The story begins with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a move that sent shockwaves around the globe. Russia claimed it was a peacekeeping operation, but the world saw it differently. It was an act of aggression, one that sparked a chain reaction of international condemnation and concern. Following the invasion, Russia recognized two Ukrainian separatist regions as independent states, a move that further deepened the crisis. The world watched, anxiously, as the conflict took a darker turn. The international community's pleas for peace fell on deaf ears, and the situation continued to escalate. As the conflict grew, it shifted towards the Donbas region. Here, Russia's numerical advantage in troops became a significant factor, leading to what was predicted to be a prolonged attritional conflict. This new phase of the invasion saw the conflict become more entrenched, more complex, and sadly, more devastating. The conflict in Donbas brought with it a new wave of humanitarian concerns. The most vulnerable, those unable to move such as the elderly and disabled, faced the greatest risk. Widespread attacks on civilian infrastructure and the use of indiscriminate weaponry led to a high rate of unsuccessful attempts to deliver supplies to cities by organizations like the UN and Red Cross. Through it all, the global community watched, waited, and worried. The Russia-Ukraine conflict wasn't just a regional issue, it was a global one, with far-reaching implications that continue to unfold. Now that we have a grasp of the timeline, let's delve into the global implications. The conflict has caused seismic shifts in international relations, with countries forced to take sides, altering the global political landscape. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has not only affected the involved nations, but has significantly reshaped geopolitics across the globe. We've seen Russia, a key player in the conflict, extend its influence as a mediator in other regional disputes, such as the Armenia and Azerbaijan conflict. The aftermath of this involvement led to the blockade of the Lachian Corridor, a crucial lifeline for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. This blockade resulted in severe limitations on supplies, food rationing, medical shortages, and chronic stress among children. Despite pleas from the international community, Russia has shown reluctance to let Western countries intervene. This standoffish approach has further strained global relations, creating a tense geopolitical atmosphere. The situation has also highlighted the need for Western powers to step in and exert their diplomatic weight. The balance of power is teetering, and it's clear that the longer Russia and Turkey dominate, the harder it will be for Western powers to bring balance and stability. This conflict has shown us the fragility of global politics, where a single event can trigger a ripple effect, leading to unexpected geopolitical shifts. The geopolitical shifts are just one side of the coin. The conflict also raised serious cybersecurity concerns. In the digital age, wars are not just fought on battlefields, but also in the cyber realm. The Russia-Ukraine conflict introduces a new battlefield, the invisible landscape of the internet, where cyber attacks and information warfare are becoming increasingly prevalent. The potential for such attacks is not limited to the two nations directly involved. The interconnectedness of our digital world means that a cyber attack can have far-reaching effects, impacting countries far removed from the physical conflict. Imagine banks, hospitals, power grids, all potentially vulnerable to cyber attacks, causing disruption, panic, and even loss of life. The threat is not hypothetical. In the past, we've seen instances where conflicts have spilled over into cyberspace with devastating effects. Moreover, information warfare can manipulate narratives, spread disinformation, and exacerbate divisions, not only within the countries at war, but globally. The digital landscape has become a tool for psychological warfare, where perceptions can be engineered and public opinion swayed. But it's crucial to remember, amidst the politics and cyber warfare, the conflict has a human face, the humanitarian crisis. War leaves in its wake not just destruction, but human suffering that transcends borders. The Russia-Ukraine conflict is a stark reminder of this. It has caused a humanitarian crisis that has sent shockwaves across the globe, affecting countless lives in ways that are hard to fathom. The conflict has led to the displacement of vast swaths of people, forced to flee their homes in search of safety. They leave behind not just their possessions, but their lives as they knew them. This displacement, coupled with the attacks on civilian infrastructure, has resulted in a dire situation. Many are unable to access basic necessities like food, clean water, and medical aid. The most vulnerable among them, the disabled and the elderly, face the greatest risk as they are often unable to move. Yet, in the midst of this crisis, there are glimmers of hope. Organizations like Razom, UNICEF, and the Red Cross are working tirelessly to provide aid to those affected. They are on the front lines delivering much-needed supplies, offering medical assistance, and providing support to those grappling with the psychological toll of the conflict. But their work is often hindered by the ongoing violence. The widespread attacks on civilian infrastructure and the use of indiscriminate weaponry have made it challenging for these organizations to reach those in need. Many attempts to deliver supplies to cities by the UN and Red Cross have been unsuccessful, leaving countless individuals without access to vital resources. Yet despite these challenges, these organizations continue their work, driven by a commitment to alleviate human suffering. Their efforts serve as a testament to the power of humanitarian aid in times of crisis. However, it's crucial to remember that while aid is vital, it is not a solution. The conflict needs to be resolved, and the international community must play a role in facilitating this. Otherwise, the humanitarian crisis will continue, and more lives will be disrupted. The Russia-Ukraine conflict is not just a regional issue, it's a global concern. It's a complex puzzle of geopolitics, cybersecurity, and humanitarian crisis.